What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Exos Heroes video, and welcome back to another First Impressions, where I take a look at new characters coming to the global version of the game. And in this video we are going to take a look at the first Gold Fate core for the Synergy or slash K-pop group, project group, whatever you want to call it, and this is going to be on Supreme Queen Jinai. So let's take a look at the changes that she will be getting, and of course the new look is amazing. I'm sure there's a lot of people that might change this with their dyes and whatnot. I'm not that type of person to gamble on dyes, but I know there's a lot of people that do. I'm pretty interested in what people are going to be making out of that, but let's take a look at the changes for her passive skills and her skills altogether. First off, she's getting Mana Absorb 4 instead of 3. Now, the biggest change in these three lines here is going to be removes all buffs from the target and gains 1 mana. In Mana Absorb 3, it only removes a buff, I believe. It says remove buff from target, so this one's all buffs. So that is the biggest change for this particular character in terms of her passive skill. I mean, just, you know, taking into account Mana Absorb itself. So she'll still gain 1 mana if the health of the target is at 80% or more, and she will remove a mana from the target and gain 1 mana if the health of the target is at 30% or less. Now, the biggest change that she is going to be getting in terms of extra passive skills is going to be her buff. So the first buff is going to increase the attack speed of all allies in the same row as herself by 24/7 turns. This cannot be removed and will increase 2 attack speed per buff that she does remove. The debuff is going to be decreasing the attack of all targets by 40% for 7 turns, and this cannot be removed once again and will decrease by an extra 2% per buff that she removes. So that is amazing. Looking at it on paper, it looks amazing, but I do have to warn you guys, this only lasts for 7 turns, and as you guys know, in Exos Heroes, each turn is taken up by a character. So basically you cycle through each character that is considered a turn. So after 7 characters turn, basically this goes poof, and it doesn't look like there's any way to actually refresh this buff. So unfortunately, this is what we get for that Gold Fate core. This is, don't get me wrong, this is still amazing, but after the first round, you're basically going back to normal Jinai. And of course, we still have the other 2 buffs there, but I mean 2 passive skills, but you know, this goes away. It basically goes away. You have the first round to do something with this, and basically it goes away after the second round. There's no way that lasts for a second round because there's 5 in each team that basically unless you kill, like, you know, 4 of their characters straight away, then at least you'll get 1 more turn of this. But that is that. Next is going to be Superstar, which is the passive skill that I do think is going to be part of the Synergy characters or the K-pop characters. So Superstar and Fan Meeting, I think these 2 passive skills here are going to be the normal passive skills for the Synergy characters. So Superstar, basically this is going to afflict the attention mark for 7 turns to the target when the skill hits, and increases all damage over time on the target with attention by 100%. And I do believe most of the Synergy characters, I just can't remember on top of my head. I know Wilkes, I'm pretty sure she does damage over time. Spica, I can't remember on top of my head if she does. Was it Spica? Anyway, this is going to be the big thing. That's why I think this is going to be one of the you know, common as passive skills that the Synergy team is going to be getting our synergy characters or K-pop characters. I don't know really what to call it. Maybe I'll just call it K-pop character. I mean characters. I think we'll just go with that. Next is fan meeting, which afflicts the anti-fan mark to the target when attacked. This triggers double team with all living allies if the health of the target with anti-fan is at or less than 30%. This activates once every 7 turns. Now, unfortunately, we don't know what double team is, but going into your gamer mind, and if you played Pokemon, you know, double team means increasing the evasion rate. So it's only my guess, but I'm guessing all your living allies will have double team if this is triggered when she is attacked and the attacker has 30% or less HP. You will have some sort of increased evasion rate. So that is only my guess though. So, but I still think these two are going to be the most common things. Most of the fate cores that we do get, they have similarities, and for that particular banners or that particular characters in that entire group, they usually have 2 passive skills that are going to synergize with everyone. So for example, in the Summer Festa, you have Flap Flap and you have Summer's Blessing, so two passives. So I believe these two. So what separates Jinai, FC Jinai, I think will be these buffs and debuffs, which is nice, but I don't think it's going to be ultimately game breaking in some way. I still think if you can survive the first round, you should be golden. And we'll go over her skill 1 and skill 2 as well. Our active skills pretty much stays the same. They are going to be AoE with damage over time effects, poisons. This one lasts for 2 turns and this one lasts for 4 turns, which I do believe stays the same. They are pretty much identical in what she already has. So the problem here is FC Rara is still part of the meta. Let's just face it. You still have Dragon Blood, and chances are you will die from the Wrath. You will die from Wrath. Jinai will die through that. I don't think she can survive Wrath. Especially after 2 Wraths, I just don't feel like she's going to survive. She doesn't have any defense up. She does have the attack decrease though, so that's something going for her. I don't know if it's enough to actually survive the Wrath, especially if you are going to be using her skill 2. It does require 5 mana. I can't remember on top of my head if her skill 2 and normal Jinai requires 5 mana. So, I mean, yeah. Do I think she's gonna break PvP? At this point, I don't think so. Like I said, I'm just not a fan of how you cannot refresh these buffs and debuffs. If there was a way to refresh that would be amazing. The only thing going for this is that it can't be removed, and it does increase in the buff depending on how much buff you do remove. So I think let's go check the normal Jinai, and let's have a look at what the other changes are. Just double check, yeah, it's the same. 178, 62, 51, 31. Yeah, nothing really changed in terms of her active skills there. So like I said, mana 3, it says here removes buff, whereas in mana absorb 4 removes all buffs on the target. So yeah, and she loses flow of mana as well, which I think they should have just kept there, because it's still a pretty good passive ability for a general. But unfortunately, they did take it out. So do I think she's worth the zest? Am I gonna pull for her? I'm definitely gonna be pulling for her. I mean, look at this. Why am I not gonna be pulling for her? I'm definitely gonna be pulling. I don't have enough to pity for her, but I'm definitely gonna be pulling and just hoping to God that I do pick her up. She is going to, I do believe she's gonna be very helpful in PvE, right? In PvE, I think because you refresh your passive abilities or passive skills, or whatever they do every wave, she's gonna be great at the start. Like, she is going to basically increase all the allies or parties attack speed, and I think that is going to be really great in decreasing all the attacks as well. So you're gonna definitely survive that first round, especially now that I'm still struggling with 12-7 because I don't have Dorka. A lot of people use Dorka for that stage. I just don't have her, and I'm struggling. And I'm just too tired when I get home to really put a lot of effort in it at the moment. But that is that. I think PvE wise it's going to be great because obviously damage over time in PvE is always great. Let's just face it. PvP, I think she does have a little spot maybe in your main team. Depends on what we do get from the others in terms of synergy, but I think for the most part, right, she is at least second team tier. This is great to start off with. Like, if you have slow characters, this is definitely going to be helpful. So yeah, I just don't like the damage over time. I still think, even though with you get this increased damage over time effect, damage over time is still pretty annoyingly bad. Especially if there's Rara in there. I mean, she is going to be surviving this damage over time because she will have a second health bar. Let's not forget, Tranquil is still going to be required in your main team. So in terms of PvP, especially if there's no tag, if it's not tag team. So those are my thoughts on this particular banner and this character. Please let me know down what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Are you going to be pulling for Supreme Queen Jinai, or are you going to be skipping the entirety of the K-pop group? Like I said, chances are these two, Superstar and Fan Meeting, are going to be the common passive skills among the characters in the K-pop group. So yeah, make sure to follow me on Twitter and on Facebook as well at Munchkins Gaming. Remember to also leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. This is Munchkins logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next level.